Good morning, everyone. Please welcome MongoDB Area Vice President Aamir Sait to the stage. Please welcome. Please.
Namaskara. Good morning, Bengaluru. It is great to be here in front of over 2,000 technology leaders from startups, global capability centers, and some of India's largest enterprises. I know many of you have traveled from across the country to be here, and even those of you who are local have battled the morning traffic to make it. Whether you're here with us in the room or joining us on the live stream, we truly appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. So on behalf of everyone at MongoDB, thank you. And thank you also to all our incredible partners and sponsors for helping make today's event possible. This is a special city. Personally, this is home. It's where I was born and raised. And this is my first .local since I joined the company 10 months ago. So I couldn't have asked for a better city to deliver my first keynote. For technology, this is a city of consequence. Because what happens here impacts not just India, but the world. We've seen this before during the internet, mobile, and cloud eras, and we are seeing it again in this AI era. So today, we're here to jointly navigate the greatest technology shift of our lifetimes. In the AI era, your data platform is the foundation of your AI strategy. Everything else is implementation detail. So you'll hear from our global leadership, our product experts, and customers who are building AI applications right now on MongoDB. You're all builders, and you're here because you're all passionate about driving change and moving your organizations forward. So we are not here to just show you the slides, but also give you opportunities throughout the day to go deep through hands-on labs, technical sessions, and conversations with our on-site experts. Together, we'll explore what it takes to build AI systems that organizations can trust in production wherever they need to run. So if you look at how enterprises are using AI today, the most widely adopted AI applications in the customer journey are really coding assistants. I'm sure most of you in your organizations are already using this and have some version of that in place. The second wave has come in the form of co-pilots. But the real opportunity and the real challenge lies in the next wave with autonomous agents. These are agents that are capable of reasoning, planning, and executing tasks. So as organizations move beyond pilots, they're discovering that the companies succeeding in AI aren't just choosing the right models, they're choosing the right architectures. So when you think about what an agentic system needs to work, it really comes down to three things. It needs LLMs for reasoning, an orchestration layer to coordinate workflows and decision-making, and the data layer that provides the memory context, and the operational truth. Many organizations are still trying to assemble those capabilities for operational data, right? They have separate platforms, they have retrieval pipelines spread across multiple tools, separate systems for memory and context, and every additional component adds complexity, latency, and risk. That is the wrong architecture for the agentic era. Let's take an example. Let's talk about Terminal 2, right, at Bengaluru Airport. Millions of travelers move through this airport every year. What they see, most of the time anyway, is a seamless experience. What they don't see are the systems underneath that are coordinating security, the baggage, transportation, and logistics in real time. If that operational foundation isn't reliable, the entire experience breaks. The same is true for AI. As AI moves from just co-pilot usage to agentic use, your architectures, starting with the data layer, will be tested like never before. So you can have the most sophisticated reasoning model in the world, you can have the most advanced orchestration layer, but if your foundation can't provide accurate information, maintain context, and operate reliably at scale, your AI system will fail the moment it encounters real users and real business problems. This is why we believe that getting your data layer right is non-negotiable. When India's most ambitious builders choose a modern data platform, they choose MongoDB. More than half of the Nifty 100, including 7 of the top 10 banks and 50 of India's largest unicorn startups, we are proud to have those as our customers. MongoDB unifies operational data, vector search, and memory in one place. No stitching together disparate systems, no compromising on reliability, one platform that gives agents the context they need in real time and at any scale. Now, we believe that India is uniquely positioned to be a leading technology and economic powerhouse in this AI era. We already have one of the world's largest communities of builders, entrepreneurs, and technology leaders. And as AI reshapes every industry, the depth of this technical talent is what gives India a unique advantage. But we need to continue reinforcing that advantage to retain that edge. And that is why one of the investments we are most proud of in India is MongoDB for Academia. Through partnerships with organizations like AICTE, SmartsBridge, ICT Academy, and leading universities, we provide educator enablement, skill badges, and certifications to help prepare the next generation of builders. When we launched this program in September 2023, the goal was to train 500,000 students and developers on cloud data and AI skills by 2028. We surpassed that goal years ahead of schedule. And till date, we have trained 650,000 people through this program already. So today, we are setting ourselves an even more ambitious goal. We are committing to help 2 million builders gain cloud data and AI skills by 2030. We're expanding access to our curriculum through new initiatives with HCL GUI, making our content available in languages like Kannada, Tamil, and Hindi. And we are opening the program to new regions through a partnership with the ICT Academy of Kerala. So we are investing in the next generation of builders to unleash innovation, and we are investing just as aggressively in the platform that they need to succeed. Now, India's builders are solving some of the hardest problems in AI today. And the questions that they're asking are exactly the right ones. Can I trust my application in production? Can it adapt as my needs change? And can it run where I need it to run? One answer to all those questions with MongoDB is yes. MongoDB is the data platform for the AI era. Today, you'll see exactly what that means in the product, in architecture, and in production. Please join me in welcoming MongoDB's Chief Product Officer, Ben Cefalo.
Thank you, Aamir. Good morning, everyone. Come on, there's a lot of people in here. Good morning. All right. I'm excited to be back here in India. This marks my 15-year hiatus from being here. So this is my first time in Bengaluru as well. So thank you all for having me. But it's not just for the craft beer scene, which I hear is picking up here. It's really for the tech and startup scene, which is moving faster than almost anywhere else on the planet. By any measure, India is one of the world's most important AI markets already, accounting for nearly 6% of the global market share and on track to grow tenfold by 2032. The adoption and momentum we're seeing in this region is absolutely remarkable. Many of you probably think of MongoDB as just another database company, and that's maybe fair. MongoDB serves as a system of record for tens of thousands of applications, nearly 75% of the world's largest companies. But that's only part of the story. Because AI changes what a database needs to be. It has to do a lot more than just store and serve your data. In the AI era, your database needs to be a system of intelligence with the ability to reason over your data in real time to drive outcomes that actually matter. This is what MongoDB has become, an intelligent data platform enabling you to build and run production AI applications. That is how many companies are using MongoDB today. Infosys, one of India's largest technology services companies, is helping its enterprises build AI-ready architectures. In Core AI, an AI-native unicorn serving organizations around the world is building intelligent applications and agents on top of MongoDB. The reason these companies are seeing success is that we've solved two of the biggest challenges developers face with AI: trust and compliance. So let's start with trust. To trust AI applications, you need them to retrieve the right information in the right context at the right time. Wrong actions drive up costs and can have disastrous impacts on your business. You can't deploy an application if you can't trust it. And the key to trust is accuracy. Your model is only as good as what you feed it. If an LLM is working from incomplete, outdated, or poorly retrieved information, you get responses that are wrong. You need to get search and retrieval right. And that's exactly what our search and vector capabilities combined with Voyage AI embedding and re-rankers help you do. The second challenge, compliance, is more important than ever given data sovereignty and privacy rules, such as the Digital Personal Data Protection Act here in India. being locked into a single cloud is no longer an option. It's more important than ever to have the flexibility to run your applications across multiple environments, whether those are multiple clouds or on-premises or some combination of the two. That's where MongoDB's freedom to run anywhere means. You get the same experience wherever you need to be without sacrificing security, consistency, or control. So just so it's clear, you need trust and compliance to deploy AI applications in production at scale. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into how MongoDB and our latest product releases allow you to achieve both. To get us going, let's cover what stops most teams before they even get to a deployment: accuracy. And there's no one better to walk you through this than MongoDB's field CTO for AI, Pete Johnson. Pete.
Well done, sir. Thanks, Ben. And thank you all for joining us here today. I'd like to start by telling you about a company that has a major presence here in Bengaluru. How many of you have heard of Lena AI? Okay. For those of you not familiar, Lena AI is a pioneering company that builds employee-facing, pre-trained AI agents that handle human resources, IT, and finance requests at enterprise scale. And their client list is a who's who of leading companies, folks like Coca-Cola, Etihad Airlines, and Abbott Pharmaceuticals. So their stakes are incredibly high. These agents are trusted with mission-critical business processes like payroll, benefits, access provisioning, and financial reconciliation. A wrong answer isn't just frustrating, it can create compliance issues or financial discrepancies. Lena's customers need to trust that the agents will produce right results, and they can. Because Lena gets search and retrieval right. Lena leverages MongoDB as both its system of record and its system of intelligence to ensure accurate answers in the appropriate context. Now, accurate retrieval is the key to building trustworthy AI applications. And yet, this is where many companies struggle because they can't trust the application will consistently provide the right answer. When an agent gives a wrong answer, the first instinct is often blame the LLM. But it turns out this is less of an LLM problem and more of an accuracy problem because it's the retrieval system that's getting it wrong. Accurate retrieval is critical for agents. And to understand why, let's quickly ground ourselves in how AI agents actually work. So agents perceive what's happening around them, they plan how to respond, then they act on that plan. The loop then repeats. What makes that loop coherent across sessions and over time is agent memory. You see, agents by themselves are like goldfish. Every event is a fresh start with no recollection of what worked before. Memory changes that. Memory is what allows agentic systems to learn and make smarter decisions as they go. And accurate retrieval is what makes memory work. Whatever an agent pulls from memory is what it reasons over, plans with, and acts on. Inaccurate retrieval systems don't just cause misinformation. It causes compounding negative effects across every step that the agent takes. So then the question becomes, what drives accuracy? Well, it's three things. It's your retrieval method, the quality of your embeddings, and your use of a re-ranker. We're going to go through each one. First, the retrieval method. Most people start with full text search, which is exact keyword matching. It's fast and it's precise, but it only finds the specific words you search for. In contrast, vector search goes a step further by understanding a user's intent, so it can find information based on semantically similar meaning to the actual search terms. Let me give you an example. So a query for car repair can return results about fixing my vehicle, even without those exact words being in the query. Both full text and vector search have real value, and hybrid search combines them, giving you the best of both worlds, the precision of keyword matching and the contextual understanding of vector search. Now, until now, implementing a hybrid search meant running both queries separately and writing your own logic to merge those results, which you have to maintain your own combining logic over time. This is labor-intensive, and it's a manual process. We wanted to find a better way, and we did. Today, we're announcing new hybrid search capabilities in MongoDB. Using one API call, you can now choose the best way to combine results, either based on blending by their relative ranks or their relevance scores. Our new hybrid capabilities give you better retrieval with less complexity and less code for you to have to maintain yourself. The second thing that drives accurate retrieval is embedding quality. Since vector search results are only as good as the embeddings behind them, an embedding model is used to convert everything from PDFs to images to audio or even code into an array of floating point values that capture the meaning for software to process. And the key is this: embeddings work by proximity. The closer that two are, the more similar their underlying data is, like that car vehicle example I used before. Better embeddings mean more attractive, more accurate, more relevant results. And that's exactly what Voyage AI brings to MongoDB. Voyage gives you industry-leading models to improve retrieval accuracy while lowering your cost of getting into production. Our Voyage AI models rank at the top of Hugging Face's retrieval embedded benchmark, beating Google, Cohere, and OpenAI. We have general-purpose text embedding models that convert pure text into embeddings. We also have multimodal embedding models. These models can vectorize text and images together while maintaining high retrieval accuracy. Now I have a question for you. What if your applications need to search really large, complex documents? Think legal contracts, technical documentation, or a financial report. These can be a challenge for many embedding models. Now, if you've tried this yourself, you know what I'm talking about. The solution is to create chunks, breaking the document down into smaller, more manageable pieces. But it turns out that getting the size of the chunks right is a difficult thing. If your chunks are too small, you lose the surrounding context. If your chunks are too large, the storage costs start to climb and your precision can drop. So developers end up iterating across different chunk sizes over and over to try to find the right balance between storage cost and retrieval quality. We wanted to help you avoid all these iterations and make chunking easier. Well, our Voyage context model solves this exact problem, and today, I'm happy to announce its newest release, the Voyage Context 4 embedding model. Each embedding encodes not just the context within the chunk, but the content within the chunk, but the broader context surrounding it. This approach provides both precision and context to offer better retrieval quality at a lower storage cost. So we've covered retrieval methods. We've introduced our new hybrid search capabilities. We've discussed our industry-leading Voyage embedding models and our newest contextualized chunk model. But here's one last thing you need in order to improve that retrieval accuracy: re-ranking. Even with great retrieval methods and strong embedding models, you don't always get the best results at the top of your search to then feed to the LLM. Re-rankers fix that. Re-rankers take the results and reorder them to improve accuracy and relevance. Think of it as your retrieval results cast a wide net capturing fish from the sea, and the re-ranker as the hand that picks the best fish out of it. Until now, applying re-ranking meant extra steps. You run your query to get your candidate results, then you make a second API call to get your re-ranker. So it's more code and more things for you to maintain. If only there was a way to do a vector search and a re-ranker all in one call. Well, now there is. Today, we're announcing the public preview of native re-ranking. Native re-ranking introduces a new $re-rank stage to the MongoDB query language. You just add that to your queries, and your results are re-ranked on the back end, all with a single API call. Now, in sum, to get all this capability, you could try to stitch together a third-party search, embedding models, and re-rankers yourself, and some people do this. But that means a lot of maintenance and manual integration work. And every time you iterate on your application, you have to check all those stitches of each individual component. And if something goes wrong, you have to troubleshoot each individual piece of a very complex puzzle. MongoDB solves this complexity issue, giving you a single, simpler solution. Now, to learn more about search, embeddings, and re-rankers, you can join our workshop on building production-grade AI agents with MongoDB and Voyage.ai, which take place exactly in this room a little bit later today. This will be an interactive session that will give you practical tools to help you build transformative applications. So smarter retrieval methods, better embedding models, and more precise re-ranking. They all make agentic memory more accurate. This means better context, better decisions, and more trustworthy results. Now, your users won't know about hybrid search, Voyage embeddings, or the new $re-rank stage. They'll just know that your product can be trusted when it matters. That's what a system of intelligence enables. And with MongoDB and Voyage.ai, that's what you can build today. Thank you very much. Let's bring Ben back out.
Thanks, Pete. The ability to trust your AI applications is absolutely essential, but trust alone isn't enough. You also need to meet your organization's compliance obligations, and to do that, you need the ability to run anywhere. When we talk about compliance, it's not just about security or things like data residency rules or privacy policies. It also means operating within your organizational internal governance and infrastructure requirements. And you have to be able to use your company's approved cloud providers and AI services. So let's think about one of the companies I mentioned earlier, Infosys. They serve enterprise clients across a range of highly regulated industries. Their clients operate around the globe under different regulatory regimes with different data residency and infrastructure requirements. And just like here in India, these requirements are constantly evolving. These companies need the ability to adapt as needs change without constantly rebuilding applications or being locked into a single environment. And that's what MongoDB's Run Anywhere capability provides. With MongoDB, you can operate wherever and however the business requires. Whether you're developing on a laptop or running in your own data center, MongoDB is there. And if you're developing in the cloud, Atlas allows you to work natively on any of the hyperscalers. This is what's unique with Atlas. A single MongoDB deployment can span multiple cloud providers simultaneously. This gives organizations the freedom to architect around their own needs while also increasing resiliency and reducing the dependency on any single provider. No matter where you build, it's the same platform, same API, the same set of skills. You don't have to learn a new way of building as your requirements evolve. This flexibility also needs to extend to the AI services that you choose. The AI ecosystem is evolving incredibly quickly. There are constantly new models, new infrastructure, and new services. Maybe one of your teams is using AWS Bedrock. Maybe another uses Google Vortex. 6 months from now, the best option for your use case may be something entirely different. MongoDB allows you to choose the services that best fit your needs. The ability to run anywhere also helps satisfy your privacy requirements. You might need tight control over your data to protect user privacy or intellectual property, ensuring it never leaves your security boundaries. And the need for flexibility extends to search and retrieval as well. Until now, teams running on premises or in private cloud environments often had to stitch together separate systems to get retrieval and capabilities that they required. Today, this ends. MongoDB Search and Vector Search are now generally available as an option for Enterprise Advanced. The same retrieval capabilities Pete discussed are now available not just in Atlas, but also in your own environment under your operational and compliance controls. That means you can build AI applications on whichever platform that works within your compliance framework. To get started with MongoDB Search and Vector Search on premises or in private cloud, join the session at 3 o'clock. And for more on how to run anywhere, can help with your data requirements or compliance rules, your data and your rules at 4:10, which is another session down the hall. This was going to specifically address the Indian Digital Personal Data Protection Act. So let's step back. AI is moving fast. Models are getting better. Infrastructure is evolving. And new services continue to emerge every day. It's no longer enough for your database to simply store information. You need an integrated data platform that enables you to build applications that deliver on the promise of the AI era. A platform that gives you the most accurate search and retrieval possible so your applications can be trusted. A platform that gives you the freedom and flexibility to run anywhere your business requires. That is what MongoDB is. A system of intelligence that exists to make sure you have what you need to deploy AI in production and at scale. But having the right foundation is only part of the story. The other part is how companies turn innovation into meaningful business outcomes. So to talk about that, please welcome MongoDB's Chief Customer Officer, Erica Volini.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am thrilled to be back with all of you here in India, a place I very much love, and I'm happy to be back. I think this is my maybe 15th trip here, and every time I'm just immersed into the culture, and I'm so excited to be with everyone here today. So, a little bit about me. From 2 decades advising organizations through their change journeys to having a front row seat to large-scale technological change at both ServiceNow and MongoDB, I have spent my entire career helping organizations navigate technological shifts. Cloud transformation, data transformation, and now AI. And across all of those shifts, there have been 2 constants. The first is India, a country at the heart of where innovation starts and scales, a place that has shown the world what large-scale transformation actually looks like, how to fully embrace new technology, and how to keep change at the front of the agenda. The second is the realization that technology shifts, they're never just about technology alone. They're about organizational change, adopting a new mindset, and having the courage to do work differently than it's ever been done before. Because while every single technology shift is a little bit different, they all arrive at the same exact question. how do you turn new innovations into meaningful outcomes? Now, earlier you heard from Ben and Pete, and they showed you the incredible innovations that we at MongoDB have to offer. And what I want to do now is just use a few minutes to talk about the outcomes that we can now deliver together. And in my opinion, there is no better place to have this conversation than here in India. Because at MongoDB, we're not just selling in India, we're investing here. We're betting on the belief that India is not just going to adopt AI, you're going to shape the future of it. And this week, in all my customer conversations, has shown me just how true that belief is. Over the last few days, I've traveled everywhere from Hyderabad to Gurgaon to here in Bengaluru, and I have heard incredible stories from our customers on how they're adopting AI to change the way that work happens. I had the privilege of spending time with Chawla, a company that I'm sure many of you know very well, and they're using AI to create their AI Guru, which is an online agentic tutor that furthers their mission to drive down the cost of education so it's within the reach of every single student in India. And then I spent time with Zomato, and they talked about their latest advancements in AI, including the launch of Nugget, which is a new end-to-end customer experience that sits at the heart of their goal to bring fast retail to life. These are two very different companies with two very different missions, but both have had the courage to challenge the way that work gets done, to shift the mindset of both students and consumers alike, and to embrace AI, not just as a technical capability, but as a completely new way of working. These two companies have figured out not how to just make the technology work, but how to make the technology work for them. And they're not alone on that journey. When I came to MongoDB just 4 months ago as the Chief Customer Officer, I had one primary goal, and that was to make sure that we're giving our customers, all of you sitting here in the room, the best support we possibly can. And there was no doubt that AI has an enormous role to play in doing that. But how big of a role was really up to me. And the way I saw it is I had two different paths that I could choose from. The first, a standard efficiency play, right? How can we do more with less? And we went down that path. We built AI agents that would respond to cases. We set up an interactive knowledge base. We created AI summarization that helped us put the right context in front of our support engineers instantly. These are great innovations that made us faster at responding to our customers' needs. But here's the thing. Responding faster to our customers' needs, that wasn't the outcome that I was really striving for. Because great support, the kind of support we want to provide here at MongoDB, it isn't just about answering our customers' needs. It's about knowing what our customers' needs are before they even know. So instead of stopping at efficiency, we're building something completely different, an AI-first customer health application that gives us insights that go beyond a traditional ticket and help us make recommendations and solve issues before they were even there in the first place. Now, I'm not telling you this story to convince you that we provide great support, although I really hope you do think we provide great support to all of you. I'm sharing this because it's another example of how focusing on the outcomes and embracing a different way of working can help us optimize this incredible technology that is now at our fingertips. Because let's be honest, that's the only way we're going to make the most of this opportunity ahead of us. See, the way I see it is that technology, it creates the possibility. What Ben and Pete highlighted earlier in terms of accessibility and trust, that allows great outcomes to be within reach. But value, true value, only gets created when we move past the features and functionality alone. Value comes to life when we apply AI to the problems that matter, when we integrate it into how people actually work, and we build enough confidence so that people choose to use it. That's when AI stops being an experiment and starts becoming a part of how an organization operates. And that's exactly the mission we have at MongoDB. A mission that I am proud to see come to life across every one of our customers that I work with every day. And it's exactly why I am excited about the next two organizations who are going to join me up on stage. Emergent and Observe.ai, they aren't just here as references. They're here because they've already done the hard part, taking AI from prototype to production on their own terms. These are two very different organizations who've taken two very different paths that you're about to hear about. But they both have seen the outcome and then used the technology to deliver it. So please, let's give a warm welcome to Mukund and Jithendra Vepa. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Great session.
Thank you for being here. Well, thank you for being here. Isn't this amazing? Look at this audience.
Yeah,
Isn't this incredible? I love seeing a packed room. I think we have overflow rooms. We have people online watching. So thank you so much, both of you, for being here.
Thank you for inviting us. Super excited to be here.
Yes, incredible, incredible customers. I can't wait for you to hear their stories. So I want to start out and just give the audience a little bit of an overview of what you do, your journey, what your organization does. So Mukund, maybe let's talk.
Yeah, so I'm founder and CEO of Emergent. Emergent is an AI-native platform that allows anybody without any programming background or technical knowledge to actually build production-grade software just by chatting with our agents. We started our journey about a year back, launched about a year back. Today, one of the fastest-growing startups in the world. With 10 million users, 12 million apps have been built, hundreds of thousands of apps deployed in production. And we started with this core insight that, like people who are closest to the problem should be building software themselves. And most of our users are, business operators, new entrepreneurs who do not have a tech team, are using us today to build software that is close to the problem.
Yeah, I don't want to skip over that because you've been in production for about a year.
Yes.
I don't know if everyone heard 10 million users. That is unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable trajectory. And I love something you said, because we just talked about outcomes and a belief that work needs to happen differently, and that was really a big part of the Emergent journey, right? You really believed in something different. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Right, so when we started our journey about 2 years back, we actually started off as a research lab building coding agents. And at that time, everybody was building copilots. That's the second stage that we saw on the slide. And we had this massive belief that soon you'll have agents which can actually do long horizon tasks and take abstract goals and actually take them to completion. And we started building these coding agents. We became world number one on SweBench, which is the benchmark for all coding agents. And our belief was that as AI exponential continues, you'll have agents which can actually do these complex tasks, and we started thinking about how do we truly democratize software development and build things end-to-end for people.
Yeah, I love those ideas, democratization, and really believing in the power of this technology to do more than just Copilot work, but truly do that end-to-end knowledge work.
Right. And we think that we're just getting started. Like the kind of complex things that we are seeing on the platform is amazing.
Yeah, a true founder mentality. I know both of you, but we're just getting started. I think we'll hear that. Jithendra, let's talk a little bit about your journey.
Good morning, everyone. We started 8+ years ago. So in simple words, we build purpose-built AI agents for customer experience. Let me explain. So as we all reach out to customer, support a service for anything and everything, and millions of conversations happens through voice, chat, and emails. But what happens in the contact centers is only few percentage of these calls, maybe 1 to 2% of calls would be evaluated for quality, compliance, and all. That's where we thought an opportunity to automate the AI. This is again 8 years ago, where the deep learning, some of these technologies, speech to text, NLP or NLU, which are getting really, really advanced, and the accuracies are becoming at a stage where you can apply in real-life applications. We have seen the opportunity, and that was kind of wow moment for us. Like we could really automate 100% of customer conversations through our AI and help the contact centers to do their workflows much more efficiently. It not only saves their time, but also improves customer satisfaction, and in some cases, sales conversion rates. That was half of our journey. Then last 2-3 years, we pivoted more into building AI agents. As Mukund was telling, we started with Copilot use cases we call companion agents. We've really seen the adoption where, end of the day, we all use as a developers cursor and all, but we really want to provide that same experience for our agents too, human agents. And they really loved it. It not only saves a lot of time for them, but also helps them to do mundane tasks and providing notes at the end of the call or fill some of the CRMs at the end of the call. All of these things are done using the AI.
It's funny because, we think about AI and everyone thinks about code development, right, and code generation. And I guess now we take for granted, oh yeah, customer service, sales, of course we use AI. But 8 years ago, that really wasn't a belief, right? What gave you that aha? What was that moment where you said, you know what, there's something we could do here and we can really do the work differently?
Yeah, I think one trip, me and my co-founders, Swapnil, we went to Philippines. We know that Philippines is a mecca of contact centers, millions of agents.
Yes.
And it's really the city is amazing and it operates only in the night. So just to, overlap with the US. And we went to a lot of these contact centers, observed these agents. The one thing really hit the heart for us is their life is very busy. So they take call after call and put a lot of sticky notes across their desktop. Then that's where it really hit hard for us. Okay, why can't we automate some of those things? And that's where my experience coming from long background of research in speech and NLP, I really thought, and before that I was building a lot of these applications for consumer side, for phones and other digital products. And I thought, this is where we could really make the difference in the life. And that really a wow moment for us. We could automate a lot of these processes and simple listening to more getting actionable insights from these customer conversations.
I love it. I could almost see the person surrounded by sticky notes, right? All over the place on their computer, on the board, and you're looking at it going, there has got to be a better way. And you built it, and very successfully. Amazing. So both of you are MongoDB customers, and of course we're at .local, so we have to talk about MongoDB. So let's talk about the reason why you made the decision to choose MongoDB. What was the driver for you?
Yeah, so MongoDB for us was a very deliberate choice. And when we started building, and our sort of goal has always been that you come in, you describe what kind of software you want to build, and we take the responsibility of planning, testing, debugging, everything behind the scene. So we started reimagining how a modern software development system should look like. It has to be end-to-end. We manage our own hosting, deployments, everything. And very early on, we started we knew that agents are going to do most of the work because our users are going to be non-developers. So they won't understand the technical nuances of things. So when we started designing the system, we actually experimented with every single database that existed at that point and figured out that two sort of core insights. One was that because our users were building apps for the first time, their requirements were evolving as they go. For example, they'll start with a simple CRM, then they want to add a payments, then they want to add a WhatsApp integration, and agents had to figure all of these things out on the fly. Right? The software is evolving as we sort of build. And what we figured out was, again, with a lot of experimentation, that Mongo really fit the need, that where if your software schema is evolving, you need a schema-less systems. We saw a lot of our early competitors actually get stuck in this migration loop where database operations would get stuck. In fact, one of our competitive advantage early on was using Mongo, which allowed us to sort of really see past through all of these migration and schema issues, and we have been scaling on Mongo since then. And we believe internally that Mongo is the best database for agentic coding, right? If your agents are coding, the Mongo is the most sort of versatile, and especially if you look at the kind of use cases that people are building on our platform, it's from manufacturing to shipping to a store owner who's trying to build a storefront, and if you need this wide variety of schemas, if you need and especially now a lot of people are building AI apps, so they need RAG, vector databases, all of those things, and sort of Mongo really helped us sort of scale that. So it was a very deliberate choice from us, and we think it was one of the core advantages that we got early on right, and now we are seeing a lot of our competitors also moving to Mongo.
Yeah, I think this concept of flexibility is so important. It's actually interesting because before I came to MongoDB, I was at ServiceNow. And ServiceNow obviously it's a SaaS platform, a great SaaS platform, but it's all about configuration. There's only so many different ways you can use it. And then coming into MongoDB and seeing, and I think this is a big part of the reason why we're just so built for developers, right? We're built for builders because it's really about innovation. Same thing with your customers. And you want that flexibility so that you could really innovate and you're never inside of a box.
Right.
So it's just so good to hear.
I also happen to be like first 1,000 customers of MongoDB. Like when it launched, I was like one of the early developers. So pretty excited to be building on that.
Thank you for that. Jithendra, what would you add on? What besides flexibility, what were some of your decision makers?
Yeah, for us, I think it's natural fit for us. As Mukund said, the document model really fits our data because what we have is raw conversations and we extract a lot of insights, intelligence from these conversations. And also a lot of these configurations keep changing. And as we build more and more AI models, more and more enrichments we do. So we don't have any fixed schemas to start with. And I think, we made a very early choice of MongoDB. I think we are more than 6 years or plus working with MongoDB. As I said, the first reason is natural fit for the data we have. And the second is the more flexibility.
Yeah.
We don't want our engineers to, again, spend too much time figuring with the schemas, but rather build the products or iterate faster.
Yeah.
And we could really iterate much faster with MongoDB. For example, now we have more than 100 clusters and more than 50 terabytes of data on Mongo. And it became a source of record for us. All our enrichments over the raw conversations, a lot of these configurations of different models and now different agents, all stored in Mongo. So, and it really sits between our data layer and the orchestration layer nicely, and we scale enormously on Mongo over the years. And the other big part, as previous speakers said, the trust and security. So that's, I don't want to spend more time on it, but that's really key for us. So all the 3 points, the natural fit and the flexibility to iterate faster and the scale and security.
Yeah, I feel like you're the embodiment of what Pete was talking about because we serve not only as your system of record, but also of your system of intelligence.
Yep.
And I think that's how a lot of companies need to think about when they scale. It's like you need to both be able to securely house your data, but you need to know that you can access that data and get the context you need to be able to build your applications. So obviously both of you have been wildly successful, which is why you're sitting here on stage, and you've taken a great idea from prototype into production. That's not always an easy journey, right? It seems easy, you're sitting here, you're talking about all your success, but I'd love for the audience to hear a little bit about that journey. What has it been like going from prototype to production? What are some of the challenges you've faced and what are some of the lessons learned? Jithendra, maybe we could start with you.
Yeah, I think the first one is the providing, since we work with enterprise, providing reliable service and accurate service. So these two really matters, very, very important for us. And with all the AI, the both are difficult now because, as you know, the LLMs, they really produce the nice text, but they hallucinate at times. And also most of these use cases are very generative in the sense, for example, in our case, we want to generate a coaching notes for a supervisor so that they can provide better coaching for their agents.
Right.
And the notes would be very fluent, but is it actionable or is it really have all the important points where the agent can really improve the KPIs, what they're supposed to do? So how do you evaluate? So there is no metrics as such in the literature or public where you can take it compared to previous AI models which are supervised, where you can compare image recognition accuracy or speech recognition accuracy. But these models will challenge you how to measure the success of these models itself. That's one big thing. And every use case has its own nuances. Yeah. So how do you measure? So and the other part is like how do you take the feedback and improve these models? I think that's where other big challenge for us. And then finally, I talked about scale and reliability. At a point, we have to go from 1 to 100x in a day or two. So how do you handle all these systems? One with the foundation data layer, but after that, how do you really provide both trust and accuracy at that scale?
And how do you talked about this feedback loop, right? And this is kind of continued change as you scale. How do you keep that coming? How do you continue to drive that level of innovation in what you're doing? Because I think that's so important, right?
Yeah, great question. The one challenge we thought, initially we thought, okay, we will build our own foundation model for contact centers.
Okay.
We've tried, we built, and we could show like a big gap between us versus all different tier models. And then we realized that, okay, every time they release a new model, the gap is reducing. So then we pivoted to the models where we can really build a smaller LLMs and we can right size for them for the right use case and still get advantage of these frontier models for very large use cases. So this hybrid approach really worked for us, both from scale and cost purpose. I think that's one thing, one big learning for us.
I love it. Hybrid model works. Mukund.
Yeah, I think our journey has been like at two different levels. Like level one has been, just building the modern agentic systems.
Yep.
So when we started, today, like a lot of people take a lot of the technology that is available, like sandboxing, memory, all of these things for granted. When we started, nothing existed. Like we had to pretty much invent everything on the go. We actually wrote our own sandbox technology. We pretty much invented memory disk snapshotting so that agents, when they die, they can actually start from the same state. There was no database versioning at that point, so we had to sort of invent all of those things ourselves. We ended up building the first multi-agent harness. We ended up building the first memory system, first systems that actually scale test time compute, so you can parallelize agents, multiple agents doing the same problems. And pretty much being early, had this both the thrill to sort of invent some of these things, but also the pain that we had to build all of this technology ourselves in-house. Yes. And that ended up being like a strong advantage for us because we sort of control every single layer of the stack and allowed us to sort of innovate at every single layer to solve the actual problem. So that was the layer one. The layer two is actually we stand for people who can come and describe their app, and we take them to production. So we have to take care of hosting, security. How do you sort of pipe production logs back to your dev agents so they can actually solve a production issue? Like one of the most loved feature in Emergent right now is a customer who has deployed an app on Emergent gets a call from his customer, and he can just go to the agent and type, "Hey, my customer is facing this issue," and our agents will go and fix that. So I think we're in a very early sort of journey of modernizing all of the software development, and we think what is important is having really strong evals that sort of allows you to sort of really and both sort of the offline and the online version of evals, and then sort of really paying close attention to what are the parts of the things that you don't need to solve today because the next model is going to solve for it. And we almost at every time a new model comes out, we almost delete everything that we have thought so far and rethink that what the world is going to look like. We have rewritten our system 3 times in 12 months, right? With every single model launch, we actually start reimagining the world. For example, Fable is a new sort of class of model. So we get to sort of start thinking about what multi-agent coordination is going to look like in this world, and the pace is crazy right now.
Yeah, both of you said something very similar. Just keeping up with the pace of innovation, but then it has to push yourself to think beyond so much, right? So you're constantly having to reimagine the future and think out, which I find so challenging. I'm just going to ask this question, but I'm curious, as you think 12 months ahead and you see the innovation coming, what do you think is next? Give us a sneak peek.
Yeah, I feel that largely software engineering will be a solved problem, right? Most people would be able to sort of build software that they want. People closer to the problems will be able to actually build software. For example, at Emergent, most of the software that we have built internally is built on Emergent. For example, our customer service folks are actually building customer support tool, right? And literally the person who's actually answering the query is actually also prompting, hey, I want this tagging feature in my tool. So I think the next sort of the scale that or the frontier that we see is automating knowledge work. Right? I think that's where the world is headed, where all of the context that lives in disparate softwares will actually come together, and you'll be able to delegate most of the work. We are building this for small businesses right now, where you can actually offload a lot of your operations, your marketing, your sales automatically to agent just using WhatsApp and iMessage. So that's the part that we're really excited about, and I think. When we started the company, we started with this belief that AI exponentially is going to continue. And at every single step, I think AI has been able to stay ahead of our imagination right now. So we are excited about that continuing.
Yeah. I feel like a collaboration needs to happen between your two organizations. Jithendra, you have tons of users using your platform, right? And you have to think about outcomes. What's one outcome that surprised you? What's something that you've learned from one of your users that you said, wow, I didn't think you were going to use the platform that way? And how has that fueled your innovation agenda?
I think one of these co-pilot use cases really surprised us, like how the customers uses some of these knowledge retrievals and how they can really efficiently improve their operations as well as provide customer service. That's really amazing for us. And the other use case we kind of experienced recently is the end-to-end automation.
Right.
Some of our agents are deployed in different enterprises in the US where they can not only take the scheduling events, even they can process the payments. I mean, that was really very exciting to see. Like, I mean, the agents processing payments without any hurdles. Like, so that's really amazing to see.
Yeah, it is amazing, and it's your point around doing this knowledge work and seeing the potential of AI to do it. And it's not just an efficiency play, right? You're fundamentally redesigning the way work happens.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about. We have a few minutes left about what's next. You talked about a little bit into the future. Jithendra, give us a view, and you talked a little bit about this being in use for sales, and that's where you're heading. Talk to us about what you see coming next.
I think it's very hard. I mean, I'm in this space for quite some time.
Yes.
Doing research to building the companies, so it's very hard to predict anything now. But it's always exciting to see new models are coming. So wait for the new models. As you wait, you build the foundations. Yeah. One thing we learned is you have to understand your domain very well. Like as I said, I mean, how our users work day to day in their workflows and understand your data. What I mean is feel for it. We handle a lot of voice calls. What kind of noises are there and what kind of nuances, how people break in their conversations and how emotional they are at points, when they explain some scenario or issue. So understand all the data and understand more the workflows in the contact centers and build that intelligence layer with strong data foundations, because that would be reusable with every model coming up. And models are getting better and better as we have seen. So, but your foundations will always stay. And also another thing is you have to really build fast, as Mukund was telling. Now you have to almost rebuild every time your product. Yeah. So you have to build systems in more like a Lego fashion so that you can really construct fast as and when demands.
Yeah, to me it seems so daunting listening to both of your stories, the idea that these new models come out, you have to challenge, oh wait, okay, that's built into the model, now I have to rethink, I have to push ahead. How do I keep up that competitive differentiation? Is it just exhausting? How do you keep your energy up?
It's a lot of fun, right? I think it's most fun that most people have had, right? Yeah. And I think a lot of people who work at Emergent, and we work long hours, and I think it's just this, it's like a new toy, right? Every 6 weeks you get a new toy to play with new capabilities. And people are so motivated to just solving these unsolved problems and just reimagining how the world is going to shape up.
Yeah. So as we wrap up, we have, 2,000 people sitting here listening to your every word. What advice would you give? What's one piece of advice that you would give to folks in the room as they're going through this journey, as they're navigating, besides, of course, building their application on MongoDB, right? That's a given. What other advice would you give to them?
I would say that this is the best time to tinker. I think, coding has never been easier. You can sort of spin up, a lot of agents to build things. And I think, to me, it feels like the best moment to sort of really, really go and chase the dreams that you have always sort of put on hold, and really go and start building things that you want to solve for yourself. And I think the landscape, the market is changing really fast, and I think people who are able to sort of bring solutions that actually have an outcome, as you said, is actually going to have a crazy demand. I think consistently we're seeing that the demand for solving these problems is so high right now that if you just bring the right solution to the world, people will grab it.
Yes. I love that advice, and it does feel that way. There's so many challenges to solve, and now we have this incredible technology. We just need to bring the two together. Jithendra, what would you share?
Yeah, almost same thing as Mukund said. The best thing is you try it. Even in our company, I've seen one of our TA head, he built his own applications to track all the recruitment, and he sort the CVs because they know their domain better. So now the AI is really helpful for them to really work 10x or 100x efficiently. So, and don't have to have FOMO for these models. Models will keep coming, but try experiment with it. Another thing is the multimodal part, like the models are really multimodal now, like so you can really explore between speech to text to image. So if you have any great ideas, try it. And as Mukund was telling, if you have good outcomes for these problems, I mean, you're the winner in this game.
It all comes down to outcomes, it all comes down to reinventing work, solving the biggest challenges we have, and being flexible on this journey. Thank you both for sharing your stories. Can we get a big round of applause for these incredible panelists?
Thank you.
So I believe you have earned yourself a little bit of a break, and I believe I am right in saying our next sessions are going to start up at 11:15, so please join us back, and thank you so much for being here today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.